We've made the biggest order in the aviation history.
Wow. How do you stay relevant?
Staying relevant is an art, especially for a legacy brand like Air India. We've been very ambitious with what we are trying to achieve. Just the tip of the iceberg, because the engagement level within the organization at this point is just something that is the main aim for the entire organization right now.
There was always a right balance and a debate internally as well between experienced versus freshers.
Absolutely.
Right? So, how do you balance this out at Air India? Hi everyone, I'm Ankit Agarwal, founder and CEO of Unstop, and we are today with yet another Unstoppable podcast. And today with me, we have Neha Singh, who's lead talent acquisition Air India. She's been with the aviation industry itself for about 15 years. That's a lot. And Neha, you won't believe, when I was graduating as an engineer, that was the first time when I took my first flight. I mean, fresh salary came in. I took my first flight to meet my girlfriend. And you know what? I think I still can relate that from that point on, the aviation sector took off. But I think aviation sector has only now been going on to freshers, to maybe campuses.
Yeah.
And now it is the time for the sector and the airlines within this sector to actually get the best mind share of students.
Yeah.
So my first question is, in Air India, how do you define limitless opportunities to these new joinees?
Actually, it's a remarkable time, I think, to be part of Air India. We're in midst of something that it will easily be called like a renaissance. We've revamped everything within the airline, from the brand, a fresh new brand image is launched, to revamping our fleet. We're only adding and getting new aircrafts. They come to us on a monthly basis, and to even HR policies and the kind of engagement that we're doing within the organization. We've made public our Vihan.ai agenda, under which we've mentioned that it is the organization's aim at this point to set standards which are globally standards which can be taken for the aviation industry. Apart from this, for a newcomer, imagine being part of projects which are as challenging as they are unique, and projects which are in turn going to redefine and rewrite what air travel is going to be in the future. So, I think I can safely say that as a newcomer with Air India, the possibilities are limitless.
I mean, frankly, the Air India new logo is amazing. I saw
So
the
glad to
new
hear that.
aircrafts. Even those smaller aspects, trust me, even the charging points that are there in the new aircrafts and the new fleet are amazing. I mean, the seats and all. I think my next question then would be, because you changed the brand, you're becoming more vibrant, young. There was a legacy brand, Maharaja, Air India. I think some of it is coming together in the new version as well.
Yeah.
But how do you stay relevant in today's age for these campuses, freshers, and maybe for your users as well?
That's actually a very good question, because again, I'll refer back to our Vihan.ai agenda. This is one of the top points over there. I think staying relevant is an art. Especially for a legacy brand like Air India. From a business point of view, if I tell you that we've been very ambitious with what we are trying to achieve. We've made the biggest order in the aviation history.
Wow.
We've spent millions of dollars in revamping our existing aircraft's livery. From a people point of view, because at the new Air India, employees are the heartbeat. We've launched various new policies which are also taking care of employees' well-being. From learning point of view, we have an online Gurukul is just the tip of the iceberg, because the engagement level within the organization at this point is just something that is the main aim for the entire organization right now.
Nice. And when you say these products are being launched and in the new avatars, I'm sure in any team that is working on these projects, I mean, within when you're strategizing them, creating those processes, there was always a right balance and a debate internally as well between experienced versus freshers, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
how do you balance this out at Air India?
When it comes to seeing experienced and freshers, it has to be a balance, and it has to be an environment which is built on trust and built on learning and at the same time mentoring. The first point when I talk about freshers versus experiences, that for freshers it's a safe space. We try to inculcate a culture where we encourage them to speak up irrespective of your level or your designation. The main messaging is that every voice matters, and when you speak, it is being valued and not just being heard. Another thing would be that from the time a person steps in to Air India, a mentor is allocated to this person. So these are mostly from the experienced lot. So the experienced person is not only taking you through the nuances of aviation, but in turn learning from the new person with the new perspective that he's bringing in. So it's actually a two-way street. I think if I give you my example, my team as well is, I mean, almost everybody in my team is not from the aviation industry. While I've been with them for all of these months and tried to mentor them, I've learned a lot from them in return as well, because they bring in that fresh perspective, that fresh idea, which sometimes you miss in the business as usual, and you just let go of
So I think there has to be a mixed balance,
Yes.
and I think in every team, like you said, in terms of there is always a new energy that comes into the
Absolutely,
picture.
yeah.
I'm sure your program, Air India Soar, which we
Yes.
did, right? The idea came from a newbie in your team, which I
Yes.
think that was Krishna.
Yeah.
That let's do some engagement.
Yeah.
So my question is now that you stopped hiring for some time, correct? And now you are sort of engaging and hiring talent from campuses, right? And you're discovering that talent.
Yeah.
What pushed you to go that extra mile?
So coming back to what you just said, so yes, the concept and the idea and the our SOAR was brought by a new team member, Krishna, and I think it is one of the best things that we did.
Yeah.
Coming back to your question, campus, is something which I think we at Air India took a step back, and we sort of sat and on the drawing board and actually decided what is it that we are trying to achieve here. And it's very quickly that we realized that we're looking for that fresh talent, we're looking at the new mindset, we're looking at people where the new ideas are brewing, where are the actual conversations happening. And that's where we realized that Air India needs to go back to campuses. That's when we, restarted the engine, so to say, and we headed to campus, because it's not about getting a academically sound person, but it's also about getting a person who has that, that energy, that eagerness, and that willingness to contribute in the way that Air India needs it at this point. We've been wanting to be the employer of preference in the aviation industry for quite some time, and it's through this campus program where we strive to achieve that every single day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, see, the idea is that if you want young energy and if you want to feel young, you need to be with young people, and that's
Absolutely.
why essentially you need to go to the campuses.
Yeah.
Now, I think people talk about made in India brands built for the global. I think one of the first few brands is Air India, made in India, but it's a global brand. Now, keeping that in mind, whenever you're hiring a new person, right? What is or how you're evaluating that culture fitment, right? Whether it will be a marriage between Air India and the person who's coming in.
Yeah. So, as a newcomer, and I was a newcomer just some time back at Air India. I would say it's like, taking a flight to endless possibilities. For a newcomer, where the day they step into Air India, there is this detailed orientation program that they are part of. And by participating in the orientation program, it's not about just learning the ropes, but it's actually getting into and realizing the legacy of the airline. We are one of the oldest brands that has existed. It's very important to understand that as well. Apart from that, I had already mentioned, we have our learning programs, we have Gurukul, and we have all of these things which enables a newcomer to realize their potential. So also I would like to say that at Air India, we foster an atmosphere where these people can thrive, the newcomers, and
Nice.
actually build on to their careers. It's about helping them realize their own potential as well.
Nice.
So so all in all, for a newcomer, it's like an opportunity where they can come and be part of something bigger that is happening at Air India right now.
I think we all, and all employers, including Air India, need to give them ownership, freedom, and that open environment.
Absolutely, I agree.
Because the industry, the macro environment always keeps on changing.
Yes.
With that in mind, Neha, what are those three qualities, that potential that you talked about, right? What are those three qualities that you would want to see in a new hire, especially from campus?
Yeah. So that's actually a very interesting question. So if I have to just mention three, I think the first one would be adaptability. The aviation industry is constantly changing. Having spent 15 years in the industry, I can, with full confidence say that aviation industry is one industry which will keep changing even in the coming future. Adaptability is extremely important in any new team member that we have. Reason being that we are looking for people that will thrive in a changing environment, and they would not look at it as a hurdle, but actually look at it as an opportunity. So this is actually extremely critical for us.
Yes.
The second would be team orientation or a team oriented mindset. In the aviation industry, it's a synchronization between various departments. One department has to be synchronized with the second. And with having this kind of a mindset where you are good with working with teams, you have to sort of have an harmony between all of these teams, learn to work interdepartmental. We foster and we try to encourage a lot of cross-functional projects where a person is not working in silos but is actually stepping up and working towards a larger organizational goal. And the last one, I think, would be customer centricity. You see, airlines primarily is to take people from one place to the other. It's about connecting people, connecting cultures. A new team member has to have passion for customer service and just making every passenger's journey with the airline a memorable one. So being customer centric is one of the most important ones, I would say, that a new team member has to have.
Now let me flip it, because we spoke about what you would want to evaluate, how do you select and all of that. Once they are inside, okay, and once they have joined Air India, how would they see their career growing, and how will Air India help them in their professional as well as personal journey?
Within Air India, there are very clear paths which are drawn out for a newcomer. I think a lot of clarity has to be given when a person is in the journey of even coming into your organization. It has to be clear communication. It has to be very transparent, where a person knows this is how I'm headed. If I join this organization, this is when I can expect the next level, or this is the kind of projects that I can get or expect to have. Within the organization, as I had mentioned earlier, there are various cross-functional projects that we run. Projects that are of extreme important value, where if you have the potential, you are part of the project. It's not that you have to be of a certain designation or of to have a certain tenure. We're all a young team as of now inside the organization. So overall, I would say being part of projects, being part and getting that kind of even platform to showcase your talent or to showcase that this is what I'm interested in, and in the terms of even the Gurukul AI, as I had said, and the learning module that we have new trainings happening at Air India almost on a daily basis. If you want to learn, the possibilities and the opportunities within the airline are just limitless. As of this point.
Yeah, I just love this word limitless, because it resonates with unstoppable, which is our keyword.
Yes.
No, I think, Neha, it was really, really lovely chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
And for students, I think now you know that the aviation industry keeps changing. Aviation industry is possibly the next big thing that you should eye outside of these regular industries that you may find some job profiles. And aviation is the next big thing which will ensure that India connects to each and every country of the globe. All right, so like, share and subscribe to the Unstoppable podcast, and be unstoppable.